What's the point if you work your whole life and you still lose? G'day, it's Jump Bunny here. Hope you're all well. I'm really appreciative of everyone who leaves comments because it gets me thinking. And in the game of life, which is a board game I used to play as a kid, you got married, you went to school, you got married, you had kids, you got divorced, you either won or lost. In Australia, it's like the game of life now. There was the old deal where if you worked hard and were sensible, you'd get something, the lucky country. Now there's the new deal where all bets are off, and the social contract is that if you didn't win the game of life, if you didn't win the game of Monopoly and got some properties and put hotels and all that kind of bollocks, right? You've lost. You can't live on the old age pension if you're paying rent. It's as simple as that. Now, in the upcoming May budget, the government's going to remove this 50% capital gains tax concession, go back to the Keating era inflation model, still tax, right? Everywhere you look, it's more and more and more tax, right? And I don't think that's got anything to do with Liberal, Labor, One Nation, Greens, nothing. Australia is addicted to taxing its citizens. This is why it's Robin Hood economics, right? Except it's the wrong way around. They rob from the poor and give to the rich, which is themselves. I was absolutely disgusted to read this news article that Jacinta Allen has gotten $300,000 of Victorian taxpayers' money to look after herself and have a city pad, right? $300,000 of Victorians' money put straight in her pocket. Oh, because they need to be close to Parliament. Well, why don't you fucking rent an apartment? Oh, that's because there's none available for rent. That is ridiculous, right? If you work all your life and you think you're going to end up with something, it's all being eroded by inflation and the cost of living, right? A lot of commentators I've seen recently on my videos, they fall into two broad camps. And it's mostly in the first camp that I'm going to talk about now. They're freaked out, right? And one commentator in particular, he said, I'm trying not to think about this, but I can't see any other option than to leave Australia. There's a deep love of our country in the comments as well, which I must say is really, really awesome, right? Who thinks that the country you're born to would betray you and me like this, that when you're old and vulnerable, on your bike, you can't afford to live here, tough titties, mate, out of our country, because it belongs to the politicians of any party. The whole lot of them are the uni party, right? They've driven the country into the ground, and now you can't afford to live in the place you're born to. Mental health issues, anxiety, fear about the future. I keep coming back to this point. The older you get, the less time you've got on planet Earth, and the more you worry. And you worry because you can't go back to work, right? What if you go back to work? Who's going to give you a job? You're old. No one wants you. Look at me. I've just been made redundant, right? 59 next month. I'm worried about the future. I've still got kids to feed and put through school. Do you feel that there is a sense that Australia has betrayed you? I'm really curious to see what you think. let me know in the comments. See you on the next one.